From cozy breakfast nooks to formal dining areas, Ashley has versatile dining options starting at just $499.99. And for a limited time only, you can receive a $250 mattress credit with the purchase of any 6-piece bedroom set. Plus, get 60 months special financing on select in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Shop and save today, only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. No minimum purchase required. See ashley.com for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Metal faithful. It is I, your mandated reporter, your pal Wheezy, Mr. Mark Radulich, and this is the Metal Hammer of Doom, brought to you by the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. Tonight's album that we'll be reviewing comes from an old German thrash band, German thrash legends, Kreator. They dropped a new album on January 27th called Gods of Violence. And I'll tell you, we finally have an album that broke the streak of albums that I was looking forward to, reviewing that ended up being a complete and total letdown. This one exceeded all expectations, and I am very excited to talk about it tonight. I am not alone, thank God. Here to cover for me when I keel over from coughing. The third chair, currently sitting in the second chair because our second chair is missing. We waited for him, by the way. We are going live at 10:30 tonight for the Metal Coop, who is currently missing in action. I'm guessing his manager didn't show up on time again. I'm sure we'll hear a story, tales from the lows, as we like to call it. But in the meantime, let me bring you the man that is here, the third chair and host of source material in his own right, Mr. Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Metal Hammer of Doom and another band that I've never listened to that's been around for more than probably 30 years. Call me late to the game, if you will. I'll totally accept it. Wow.
I'll admit, Kreator was not one that I paid a lot of attention to. I started listening to metal in the early 90s, and I was more interested in what the new metal was of the day than some of the lesser-known thrash bands of the 80s. Now, Kreator started in 1982.
Wow.
As I said, they're from Germany. Yeah, and it was they're just one of those metal bands where I knew they were out there. I would see people wearing their T-shirts, but I never paid a lot of attention to them. So looking at the calendar for this year, and then and wanting to go every week and review a new album, and I happened to see that they were putting a new album out. I said, well, you know what? They deserve to be paid attention to here on this show. They certainly earned their keep. This Gods of Violence is their first studio album in 5 years since 2012's Phantom Antichrist. And it is, let's see, what did they say here? 14th studio album overall.
Yeah,
So
14.
Yeah. So at a minimum, I thought Kreator, even if it's not one that I was tremendously familiar with, I just knew they existed. It was one like, okay, let's give them a shot here. I mean, we've listened to all these other bands over the past year that put out an album that was a bit of a disappointment. Let's see what these guys can do. And holy Moses.
They come through.
Yeah, they really did. I wanted to be a little bit more open to listening to some new bands this year. And new as new to me, not new to the scene.
Yeah.
And this absolutely met the criteria. Now, you've never heard of Kreator before. Like, just, when I mentioned, hey, we're going to review an album by Kreator, this was a brand new and exciting experience.
Oh, yeah. As for a full album, I may have caught like a song or two in the past, but, paid it no mind, paid it no attention. So, yeah, this is the first time I've ever really dove into a full album by these guys. So 14th album, man. You'd think at some point you wonder about bands that have been around that long, if they're going to fall off. And we've talked about plenty of bands, Metallica, Megadeth, that either kind of wane or they really shine. So it's kind of neat to get sharpen my teeth on a band that's been around this long and I've never heard anything from them before. So, and for it to be, wow, what a heavy fucking album.
Yeah. Now, looking at the Wikipedia page, Mike Petros, I'm calling him Mike, but that might actually not be his name. Sorry. Millie Petrosa has been in the band since 1984, all the way through the present. Jürgen Rail, who was in the band from 84 to 94, left for 2 years and then has been in the band from 96 on. Then you have Christian Speezy Geisler, who plays the bass. Mom, please. He's been in the band since 1994. And finally, we have Sammy Leo Cernio on guitar, who's been in the band since 2001. But they've had several other people in the band as well. So, with Petrosa there, and for the most part Rail, it's been you've had two solid members of the band, and then some. Now there's not as bad as some others that we've talked about where it just seems like every album they have a brand new group of people in the band.
Yeah, it's whole new
by
crew.
name only. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This one's been pretty consistent. So we're not gonna. It's 10:30 Eastern time here on the Metal Hammer of Doom, and I'm also very tired. So, before Papa Radulich it goes night, we're gonna jump right in here. As we don't have any fun stories. I don't, or do we? Do we have an update on
Monkey business? Oh, for Pete's sake! Okay. Hey, look. From what I understand, okay, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the last podcast or not, but from what I understand, Monkey is not a nickname that other kids gave him. Okay, it is a nickname that my daughter gave him so that I would not know who this person's real name is. So
she gave him a code name.
It's like a fucking episode of Seinfeld around here, like Man Hands, like fucking Newman, whatever. So
okay.
she gave him a code name, so I may have taken that whole monkey stuff, that whole monkey business out of proportion, because but I have not heard, I haven't heard any stories. I will tell you that I was bothered by a story she decided to tell us yesterday about how at McDonald's, which is right by the YMCA, okay, my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter, a wager was made that she would not go up and ask this guy how old he was. And 11 years old, she went up to a 17-year-old and asked him how old he was and what his name was. Now, okay. Sir.
No, she liked this kid, I'm guessing.
I don't know. I from what I understand, she was hungry and she wanted some French fries. And her friends were like, "Listen, I'll get you some French fries, but you got to go ask this dude what his name is. Ask him how old he is." And I assume he was cute. Whatever. I don't care. I don't like my daughter going up and asking other kids. I have no idea what they look like. How, just don't like it. Don't like it. So
no, I'm with you. This sounds bad.
Quite concerned. So, man, this whole YMCA business and hanging out, this is the first time my daughter's ever really, ventured out and hung out by herself with a group of friends where, after school or whatever. And I can tell you, just like you can tell me, of some of the hijinks that you've gotten up to after school when you hung out with your friends, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't know whether to be really, really concerned. I think I'm always going to be concerned. For the next, 20 years, I'm going to be concerned. But you got to cross that bridge at some point. That's what sucks.
So where do we stand now? Is she still pursuing this kid? Are you allowing her to pursue him? Or and that maniacal laugh, of course, is Robert Cooper.
We picked up right where we left off.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm still at work, so I'll eventually disappear for a few minutes.
But okay, now as for Monkey, I haven't heard anything else other than that little bit I told you earlier about how that was a nickname she gave him. So I haven't heard anything else. But then again, I don't know if she's saying anything to anybody. So I will definitely keep you all up to date.
All right. We'll find out about more monkey business later on down the line. All right, Cooper. Tales from the Lowe's. Is your manager late again? What's going on there? Why are you still at work?
Yeah, I'm still waiting. It's funny. It's really weird when I'm waiting on somebody else because usually everybody's waiting on me. Because I'm the last person. I'm always the last person to leave.
All right. Well, as I said before you dialed in, I'm fucking exhausted. This has been a long day. I'm not going to get into why it's been a long day.
I'm fucking mad.
Good one.
Thank you.
Yuck.
Here, I'll leave.
Anywho, we're getting well past my bedtime, and I'm no longer on having the benefit of taking amphetamines. So.
Oh
man, you are going to crash today. Woo.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's going to fall asleep by track 7.
I was going to be like, we're going to get to track 7. Try track 3. It's going to be Satan is real. Satan is. Okay, that's going to be me. Satan is snoring. All right. The old man is boring. Anyway. All right. Let's get into Gods of Violence here. A quick word, if you will, Cooper, on your thoughts on Kreator. I was telling Jesse that this is not a band I paid a tremendous amount of attention to, but knowing that they were putting out an album and with little else out there coming around the same time, I thought now would be a good time, to give them a shot. And they exceeded my expectations. Now, you are probably more familiar with them than either of us, so you want to do a quick 50 words or less here on this band?
So, yeah, I think probably the both of you combined. Kreator's really, really good. The best German thrash band. Their music is great, and it's so good. It's very, very good. I did it in a presidential flair. Anywho, but yeah, German, really good Teutonic thrash band. I think they started around the mid '80s. I think '87 was Endless Violence. It was Pleasure to Kill. Sorry, really solid band. They've kind of pioneered more of almost like a heavier sound to them. A lot of the Teutonic thrash, like Destruction, Sodom, Kreator, they really have more of almost like a death metal sort of little twinges of death metal here and there. But they're one of those bands that remained even in the '90s. I fucking hate people with loud vehicles. They've maintained real quality throughout a lot of their music. Their last album, Phantom Antichrist, was in my top 10 of, I want to say 2013, was it? It was phenomenal. It was a really good album. They have a lot of really good albums. Enemy of God, Violent Revolution is a great, amazing song, great album. Hordes of Chaos. They're one of those bands that are just really consistent. I really feel like this album just continues that trend.
All right, so without any further ado, we're going to skip the first track. It's an instrumental. It's like only a minute long. We're going to get right into the meat of this thing. This is probably one of my favorite tracks on the entire album. I heard this, and it was like a shot of espresso in my coffee. This is World War Now. And really, it totally sets the tone for the rest of the album. Where I think this album succeeds is it keeps up the intensity without becoming samey, and there's enough variation in the songs where not every one of them is that fast, that thrashy, but they wrote some real memorable hooks here. You know, this next one that we're going to talk about especially, you know, it's not like a tremendously fast song, but it's got a hook in there that's it's a real earworm, and it really stays with you. But that first one, World War Now, yeah, that's going on the douchebag workout mix. If I ever have the, if I can ever work out again, that'll be a prime track for it. Go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, what a blistering way to open. You know, we talked about the intro song there that we skipped over. That's about the only criticism that I can give, is that Apocalypticon was kind of slow and melodic a little bit and kind of brought you in, and then all of a sudden This song hits you in the face out of nowhere. And then it's a fucking, it's like, imagine going up a roller coaster. You're going up the hill and you're about to drop. All right. Song 2 is the drop, and you continue to go down screaming your head off for the next 10 tracks. Well, I guess it'd be 9. It's just nothing but full speed from here on out. Yes, I agree. It's a great track.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely this. I actually like Apocalypticon. Apocalypticon? I think that's what it was. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Persephone?
Persephone?
Meta what? But yeah, it is fucking ball blistering, this first track, and that's what I really like. They do not fucking take the foot off your throat. It is like it is just fucking choking you constantly. I mean, especially if you're into that. I really love this first track. It's really what I expected from this album, especially once Mark got really excited. I knew I was in for something good. Because I know when Mark gets excited for a thrash album, that usually means it's like, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I really fucking love this song.
All right. Let's move along here. As I said, this next one's got a real fun hook to it. Before I get into this, the song is called "Satan Is Real," and I want to set Jesse up so he's prepared to talk about this. But so Jesse had, I wouldn't call it necessarily a religious upbringing, but he had some very prominent people in his life that were of a religious ilk. And Robert Cooper, of course, comes from a religious area as well. And so I'm just wondering if you thought about any of that as you heard this next song. This is track 3, Satan Is Real. Clearly can hear the vocals. As I said, it's got a good march to it in the drumming, and then it's got that. I don't know. In 2017, yelling out "Satan is real" is really controversial. Trump for president is probably worse, but depending on your point of view. But I really love that song. Like I said, it's got quite the earworm to it. I will definitely sort of mumble the chorus to myself as I'm doing my daddy duties throughout the day. What did you think of it? And did you find yourself sort of thinking about, I guess, as your stepdad and other folks, and it's like, Jesus Christ, I did not think 20 years later I would be lauding a song called Satan is Real. Where has my life gone?
The short answer is absolutely. I am legitimately
myself into.
I am legitimately, no joke here. I knew at some point I was going to have to talk about an album with you guys that kind of, brought those teenage fears, religious, fears up. Slayer was, I thought, going to be the big one. But this right here, yes. Okay, let's just take a step back real quick. And a lot of times when we get in here, we're talking about the songs. Have you seen the cover of this album? Okay, that right there is enough to give somebody nightmares that may not even have a religious belief. You got this big winged demonic thing on the front with, a pentagram in the center of its forehead, if I remember correctly. So something like that, if you would have showed that to me back when I was 13, 14 years old, I would have been like, there's no way in the hell I'm going to listen to that. You're not going to make me listen to that. And then when you say, oh, no, check these tracks out. Track number 3, Satan is Real, man. You'll dig it. No, I will not. No, do not make me listen to that. I don't want to go to hell. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So, okay. Now, here's the thing. Listening to this song, okay, I just ran it through, by the way, our word counter tool. We heard Satan is Real, which, by the way, I find it funny that you said you're going to hum that around the house while you're doing your dad duties. I can just,
oh, yeah.
Satan is real. Daddy, what are you saying? What is this you're saying, Dad? Well,
my son doesn't give a shit. He is almost 3 years old and could not be more oblivious to what's happening around him.
Yeah.
As I learned today.
But I ran it through our word counter here, and I mean, they really drive that Satan is Real lyric home 18 times in this in this song. And at one point, I think they realized, oh man, we've said it enough. We need to change the key towards the end. So they changed the key to it a little bit, but it's still, still the same thing. Regardless, the song kicks ass. Okay, there's
it's really good.
Yeah, there's no denying that it's still a good song. Now, as to the lyric content, analyzing it, I don't know where he's coming from. Coop, you might be able to shed some light if you had a chance to listen to it and look at the lyrics at all. I don't know, but a lot of times I think that bands will use these types of religious iconography. Yeah, there we go. To kind of set themselves apart. These guys have got 14 albums in, so I don't know if these guys are devil worshippers or if they're just using Satan as like a figurehead. Because from what I understand, the main guy behind this band, Millie, he leans to the left a lot. We'll just say he's very, I assume, very liberal. Now, I'm not saying that all liberals are Satan worshipers or anything like that, but what I'm saying is that if you'll see themes throughout this album where it's very much power to the people. And of course, when you look at something like Satan, you could look at a figurehead, a political figurehead, and compare them to Satan. I mean, the first 3 lyrics right off the bat are martyrs. You cannot kill us all. Vengeance will come as a shock. So, lyrically, I don't know if it's Satan worship or not. I don't think it is. I think he's using it as to make people think, oh, there's a bad dude out there. But anyway.
Yeah, I think it's more metaphor than anything else.
There you go. Yes. Coop
is not with us.
All right. I really wanted him to come in here and say, yeah, these guys worship Satan. And I'd be like, oh, damn it. No.
Look, here's what I'll tell you. I think a lot of the Satan imagery in the early 80s thrash metal was like a rebellion or a retaliation against the status quo.
The establishment.
I think the establishment. Yeah, I think it was. You know, I think it was they were trying to poke the bear. I think they were. You know, a lot of bands were experimenting with imagery that was purposely controversial, and I don't know how many. I mean, first of all, what does it mean to really worship Satan? I mean, are you out there committing crimes? That's the whole other issue. Whether or not, you know, regardless of your religious beliefs, are you, you know, are you practicing some sort of pagan ritual? I mean, that's
sacrifice.
Also, as long as you're not hurting anybody, that's also a private thing. But I think especially in the 80s, you know, with the tipper stickers and, you know, the heavy metal will make you kill yourself and all this other stuff, I think a lot of bands were utilizing a lot of that imagery and a lot of that lyrical content to purposely challenge thoughts about music and heavy metal itself. And I don't know how much of it was
literal,
you know, serious, literal like Satan worship.
Yeah.
Either way, you know, and I always go back to, you know, my mom asking me when I started listening to Slayer if I was going to get into the devil, and me just laughing at her. That, you know, at the end of the day, it's still just music, which is why at 40, almost 41 years old, I can tool around the house, cleaning up, you know, change my son, and just hum to myself, "Satan is real," because, you know, it's fun. It's a hook. You know, there's nothing about it.
It's absurd.
bad.
It's almost absurd to think, to picture. But, I mean, again, just like you said, it's a catchy as shit song.
Yep. It really is. All right, let's move on to track 4 here, and we'll bring Cooper in whenever he returns. But we are going to keep going here to the bitter end. Totalitarian Terror, track 4. I love that chorus. I'm going to read it here. It comes at the end of actually the first verse. You know, we're not afraid to live. We're not afraid to die. We are the antidote to the radicalized. And as the cities drown in bloodbaths worldwide, we will survive. I mean, say what you will, and I think music comes to you in times of your life, and it will mean something to you that it might differently than it might mean to somebody else.
Yeah.
So they may have meant this a certain way, but without getting into my own stuff, when the part that really spoke to me was that last bit. You know, we're not afraid to live. We're not afraid to die. We are the antidote to the radicalized. And as the cities drown in bloodbaths worldwide, we will survive. That's something I need to hear right now. Mm-hmm. And I love the gallop in the song. I love the tempo. I love the change where, you know, it's going full bore and then it shifts. And it has that fun shift right there as they're doing that part of the song, and then it goes back again. The actual chorus is totalitarian terror, welcome to the strike, wielder to strike, totalitarian terror, feeding the oppressor, resistance must rise when freedom has died. And even if I wasn't in need of sort of a personal message right now, that by itself is very powerful, especially with all the stuff going on in the greater world, with our current political situation. Which, like I'm not trying to tell people who listen to this podcast where I stand on any of that. But if you can't recognize that we're in a contentious place right now in this country, regardless of whether or not you're with our president or you're not paying attention. And I think this song really captures a lot of the anxiety going on in our country right now. I love it. I think it's excellent.
These guys, again, throughout this album, you'll see write songs. They write songs that really bring power to the people or are about power to those who feel that they are being oppressed. This one in particular is clearly specifically about that. There are a couple others as we go through where it's almost a hymn to the groups of downtrodden coming together and rising up. Another thing I will say is that these guys write smart. 14 years of songwriting, and if you look at the way that these lyrics are written, they're written very well on a pretty educated level. Totalitarian terror, just right at the beginning of that, it might. I could ask somebody off the street. I guarantee probably 5 out of 10 people aren't going to know what the hell a totalitarian is. So they are, for being from Germany, it amazes me, and I don't know if this strikes you in any way, but it amazes me people from different countries who write songs that are primarily in English. And I understand, the world, practically the first language that they learn is their own, and then it's English immediately right afterwards. But to have somebody's home who comes over from another country or lives in another country write songs like this in the English language, it really blows my mind that they do it so well and capture the vibe. I mean, uprising revolution's not it's not a concept new to everybody else other than the U.S. That's for damn sure. So they have their own fights that they're trying to fight, along with all these types of songs. Sometimes are just universal. So
yeah, I get a lot of empowerment as a theme from this album.
Yes,
it may be called Gods of Violence, but it is definitely, as you said, a song about empowering people who feel disengaged, disempowered, disaffected, etc. And I think that's part of why I gravitated to it, because I after all these years, still like that sort of thing. I still have a bit of the punk rock ethos in me from when I was in high school. And anytime, there's musically a very sound structural album that embodies the empowerment message, and it's got a groovy beat that I can dance to, I'm going to be attracted to it. I'm going to want to talk about it. So that's where we are with this. And speaking of Gods of Violence, here is the title track number 5. This is Gods of Violence.
We shall kill. What you'll notice also, clearly, there's a bit of. They're not afraid about singing about bloodshed and violence in any way. Now, from what I've read online, the genesis of this song was about how, I assume it was Millie. I think it was Millie that was talking. He recognized how a lot of what still goes on today is very translatable to the Greek gods of all the myths and all that stuff that we heard back in the day. You could still see parallels. So
all right, I think we've approached the point of the evening where we've lost Jesse, who has to hang up on Skype and dial back in. So, goodness gracious. So yes, yes, back indeed, Jesse, back indeed. Anyway, well, Jesse will be back in with us in just a second, but yeah, that Gods of Violence, talking about really recurrent themes throughout history, going all the way back to the Greeks and even probably before that. Let's go ahead and bring up the lyrics here for Gods of Violence and talk about that. Gods of Violence. Okay. Where are you, lyrics? Hang on. Kreator, there we go. Gods of Violence lyrics. We have, as it opens here, we shall kill, we shall kill, we shall kill, we shall kill. Rise, God of violence and immortal majesty, the forces of separatists to arms. Malicious titans in the fear their words can breed. The one commandment echoes forth as clouds of drones attack. So we have allusions to both the past and the present in that verse. And then a repetition of we shall kill again. Rise, usurpers and destructible regimes. And in times of war, destroyers of hope. Kings of the earth inject the core of the doctrine. Conflict yield to degrade the strongest minds of all. And they change it up here where they say, we shall kill all as one. We shall kill. These battles can be won. We shall kill until we die. And again, you get that sense of empowering people to fight the good fight, fight the oppressors, whoever they may be, in your own mind or in reality. I like this line here. Dehumanizing killing spree supported by technology. And that was big time over the course of the last couple of years. The advent of drone technology, and even before that, in the Clinton administration, you had the Monica missiles, as they were called. Just the idea of being able to slaughter, tens of thousands of human or millions of human beings without putting any of your own at risk through the use of technology, bombs, drones, etc. And so, again, a lot of what we're going through right now in terms of conflict clearly informs the lyrical writing for Kreator, Gods of Violence. Go ahead, Jesse. Why don't you weigh back in with the point you were trying to make?
I was just talking about how he was drawing parallels to how in today's age, wars and all this stuff, brought about by violence, that has been happening since the Greek times. One of the things he was talking about was how it was this all. I don't know if he was talking about the album as a whole or if he was talking about this specific song, but he was talking about the advent of we want to see world peace, and he says that's never happened and it will never happen, and partially because just the way man is. The part where you just stopped about talking about supported technology, there's right after that, he says, praying there must come a day the spark of peace inflames again, heaven through the world into their lives, protectors of the master plan, waken darker sides of men. Now that right there, I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, not for nothing, but even when they tried world peace in Star Trek, they had to give it up and create conflict with other alien races, or no one would watch the show.
That's right.
I don't. Conflict is a part of life. I think the concept of world peace is naive, and I'm not going to go on a rant here because I don't think people listen to this show to hear my inner philosophical beliefs on anything. But I will say that I think trying to approach an album where you're writing about a desire for world peace is nice, but he's too big. No,
he's too big.
Nice. It's laudable, but it's not realistic. I don't think it's something that. I mean, look. Number one, you have George Carlin, who once said that if you killed everybody on Earth, the last man standing would attack the mirror. Number one. Number two, I think even if you somehow created enough resources to feed the world and enough resources to power all of our technology without a cost of anything, you somehow, were able to create this utopia where there is plenty and nobody wants for anything. You still have personality conflicts.
Oh yeah.
You still have insanity. You still have ego, and I don't know how you reconcile all those things out so that none of them play a role and everyone is able to get along without any issues.
It's impossible, dude. You look at the way just human beings are made up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way of erasing that out of our DNA in any way. You can, just like you said, you can make everything as nobody wants for anything, and we're going to fuck it up somehow.
And then even if you somehow created a situation where there were the remaining human beings on this planet were able to subvert their own desires for the collective good, and world peace is achieved, what about the rest of the universe? I mean, we're not alone. I think we all really realize that the universe is, billions of systems and stars, and there's probably life out there, across the cosmos that we have just not come across yet for one reason or another. And there's no way to reconcile whether or not they would come to the planet and be peaceful or not, or whether or not we would accept them. And now I'm thinking of the Flintstones issue again.
What a powerful book! What a powerful book that was.
You fought me. You didn't want to do it, but see how relevant it is. It just keeps coming back.
So damn relevant.
Speaking of spring break, here's Robert Cooper with a few words on these last couple of tracks here. We have played everything through track 5 so far, Cooper.
And you're awake?
Yes, I am still awake. I am alive.
Oh, and enthusiastic. Alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Except I always say alive, awake, at work, enthusiastic. Oops. Anywho, Satan is real because I heard I had to go in the middle of the song. But the thing I really think that's funny is that Satan is real is the fact that I live in the Bible Belt, but I've kind of just grown really annoyed with really super religious people. So stuff like this just makes me cackle.
Crank it loud.
Yeah, I mean,
Cooper's running through the neighborhood with a boombox on his shoulders, blasting "Satan is real." Come get it, you motherfuckers!
I told you I go through grocery store parking lots blasting "Nuke the Cross" by Toxic Holocaust.
Wow.
Because I just think it's so funny. Because I kind of live in an area sometimes where you drop a GD and somebody's like, "Excuse you." I'm like, "What? God wouldn't like this." Anywho, fucking killer tracks. Let's see, track 3, 4, 5, all three of them. One thing I really like through this album is that I guess I can bring it up now is the solos. There are so many different variations of the solos that they're playing. Like, you don't just get one sort of type of solo throughout this album. You know, there's lots of variation. I really feel that is just a real tribute to how good the guitarists in this band are. Like, I am so excited to go see them. Knock on, steering wheel. That because I'm hoping to go see them in April. That's going to be a kick-ass show.
They're playing with Sepultura.
No, they're playing with Obituary and Midnight.
Obituary's got a new album coming out, so Obituary's got a new album coming out that we're going to cover on this show. So that sounds like it's going to be a fun show.
And I hope Midnight has a new album because Midnight sound a lot like Venom. And I love their stuff because they have albums like Satanic Royalty and No Mercy for Mayhem. They are.
You might be right about
awesome.
that. You might be right about that. I'm pretty sure Midnight does have a new album coming out. I'm checking them out now.
Oh, I am so excited for that. Oh my God. Love Midnight. I discovered them last summer, and at work I would just be blasting fucking Midnight. I mean, what is one great song to be blasting while getting straw for old people? Lust, Filth, and Sleaze. What are the lyrics you say? You give me lust, you give me sleaze, I'm going to bust when you're down on your knees.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Yeah. But it's like so they can't understand it.
No, they that's like 3 generations of shit that they can 3 generations past what they could understand.
It's like, it's old people proof. It's layered.
That's right, dude.
But yeah, that's going to be a fucking kick-ass show because I think Testament's with Sepultura, and as much as I want to go to that, there's now 3 concerts in the first half of the year I want to go to, and that's a lot for me.
I got tickets for that. I got tickets for the Testament show here in Orlando. I got tickets for the Iron Maiden show in June, and I'm now not going to NXT. So
you're
that's
not
what happened
going
to
NXT.
No.
So you are?
First of all, yeah, it got sold out. I didn't even realize the tickets were on sale, and so I could probably still go because there's plenty of tickets available through StubHub. But now you're sitting. Now it's like, do I want to sit on the roof? Do I want to pay extra money to sit on the roof, or do I just want to watch this from the comfort of my own home? And I think I opted for home. And I do not actually see Midnight on the Loudwire list, dynamic list here. So
I mean, they might not have a new one, but they're. It's really funny. Me and my buddy Nick, who we still need to get on this podcast, we're actually more excited for Midnight than any of the other bands. Like, we keep calling it the Midnight Show, and they're like third act on the card.
I'm going to keep looking here. In the meantime, let's go ahead and play track 6 here, Army of Storms.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, it's a living, huh? Wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Hang on one.
All right, so
it's a living.
all right.
That reminds me of. Go ahead.
Get to the breaking news, please, and then you can tell me what it reminds you of. All right. So right here on the Metal Hammer of Doom, we just got this right into our studio here. They're handing me the notes. Nickelback is releasing a new album on June 9th. Feed the Machine.
Mm.
Eh?
Oh,
Nickelback,
boy.
ladies and gentlemen.
You know
Canada.
the first word metal?
Please educate this man. Gosh.
The only song I will be like, yeah, that was okay. Like, they did a Dimebag tribute called Side of a Bullet. Not a bad song. It was okay. Lyrically, it was poop, but they tried.
Oh, my God. They're touring with Shaman's Harvest. The last time I saw Shaman's Harvest, they were opening up for Hell Yeah. And, oh, shit, who did I see Hell Yeah with? I just saw them last year. It was Hell Yeah, and it might have been Corrosion of Conformity. But yeah. No, or wait, what did Corrosion of Conformity open up for Clutch? No, I don't remember anymore. Anyway, I do know that the last time I saw Shaman's Harvest, they were on the same show as Hell Yeah, and apparently Nickelback, and we might have to just do a Metal Hammer of Doom show on the road.
Really?
Because Nickelback is actually touring June 23rd to support their new album Feed the Machine with Doubtry, Shaman's Harvest, and Cheap Trick. Is this the end of the podcast, guys, or are you guys quitting?
Freaking. You know what?
Well, nothing makes me quit.
What scares me is that we've seen a trend in the past, few years with metal albums about how they've been bringing the whole singularity into a lot of the concept of these albums, and now I'm afraid Nickelback is jumping on that wagon with Feed the Machine. Oh, jeez.
By the way, if you don't know anything about Shaman's
I'm sure
Harvest,
the Machine is.
If you don't know anything about Shaman's Harvest, go listen to Smokin' Hearts and Broken Guns, specifically track 6, which is called Country as Fuck. It's awesome. I might have to play it tonight. That's so good. That's so good.
That pressing.
All right.
Yeah. So it's a living. That reminds me of that time a friend of mine sent me a picture. It's like, oh, ruin your childhood. It was a picture of a dick-shaped rock, and it had Wilma. And I was like, well, at least they didn't use one of the animals, It's like, oh, it's living.
Somebody get Ronnie Adams in here so he can sigh into the microphone.
Oh, boy.
All right. So should we talk about Army of Storms, or should we just move on?
See, I thought this was Army of S words.
Okay.
Sheba. No, wrong. Damn you, Trebek.
All right, Robert Cooper's having some sort of a stroke.
No, I was doing the gag from Saturday Night Live, the one where it was Celebrity Jeopardy, where it was Sean Connery, and he saw swords. He goes, "He's S words." It's like, sorry, it's swords. So when you get the clue, he buzzes in. He buzzed in. He's like, Sheba.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give some legitimate thoughts on this.
Nothing.
Rally. Again, this is another Rally the Troops war cry song. Pretty standard fare for what we see for the album, and it, again, keeps the pace up, kicks some ass.
All right.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, so do I. That was very good. All right, I really love this next one. I know this is one of Jesse's favorites from what I remember. This is track number 7. This is Hail. Another great marching song, another very powerful song again. They definitely oscillate between the thrashier stuff and the marchier stuff, and it breaks the album up nicely, keeps it from getting too repetitive. Just really good stuff here.
Yeah, I agree. This is the one that kind of stuck out to me, like, oh, they're changing things up a little bit. This is it's not slow, but it's definitely, it doesn't feel as in-your-face thrashy as the rest of what we've heard previous to this, and a very positive song. I mean, you talk about positivity in our metal that we've been hearing over the past year or so. This is one of the more positive ones where at first, I'm looking through the lyrics here. I believe that, it's another power to the people, but I also think it is a kind of almost like a tribute to their fans, because they're talking about how even though they may fail, they have all these people that are supporting them to help them, stay the course and carry on. I mean, 35 years in this business, and I think that kind of comes through in this song, about how not only are they there to give a voice to those who want to hear something that is as positive as this. They also want people to understand that, their support means a lot. So, Coop?
Fucking metal.
Well said.
Amen. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Oh, your stepdad's going to be mad at you.
I'm going to get a whooping.
If I say it, I'm going to get a whooping. Hail Satan. All right, go ahead, Coop.
No, I was saying Hail Santa there. I love that picture, Hail Santa. It's got the pentagram with like a red-eyed Santa.
Oh, I wanted it. I wanted that T-shirt in the worst ways. Every year I get a new Christmas T-shirt, and I wanted that one, and my wife was like, no, just no.
Yeah, like I keep wanting to get an ugly sweater, but sometimes those things are fucking expensive, man.
Oh, like a real ugly sweater? Yeah, those are like $60. My Star Wars one that I wore a few years ago, that was like a $60, $70 sweater. But you really have to be committed to the gimmick. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get that cold around here. I mean, it does, but, like, for example, like today, like, I found out normal temperatures around here is like, okay, like 45 during the day, like 30 at night, let's say. No, today was like 65 and like 45. Climate change.
Well, when you have the lung capacity of a 97-year-old man with COPD and lung cancer, and you find out that it's like 50 degrees up, I can't tell you how many times this week I've looked at my phone, looked at the weather, and be like, well, I guess I'm bundling up again today, and it's like 50 degrees outside.
Oh boy! So it's a good thing you're a permanent snowbird.
Yeah. I'm hoping when I go back to work on Monday, we're done with this snap of winter because quite frankly I can't take another week of walking through a cold building constantly. But enough about me and my sad, sad life. This is track 8. This is Lion with Eagle Wings. I got a very In Flames vibe from that song, and maybe most of the album for sure, but definitely that one song reminded me of like old school, especially In Flames.
I was gonna say, I was like In Flames, so like Jester Rape, Lunar Strain In Flames, or like the poop they're putting out now.
No,
not a big fan of modern
Colony
In Flames.
In Flames, sir. Get the fuck out of here, Colony.
No, I still prefer the Jester Race and Lunar Strain, but I'll forgive.
Whatever, nerd. No,
nerd is when I was listening to Paradise Lost, and I'm like, yeah, and then I got into their more industrial stuff, and I was like, well, Mark can have it.
All right, I'll tell you what I like. I like, the Jester Race is good, but I got into In Flames with Oracle. Colony's badass. Clayman's badass. I don't remember Reroute to Remain. What was good on that one?
Let's see. What's the one with Do that are really good. That's some really good guitar. A buddy of mine, like I think their 2011 one was it. He burnt me a copy of it, and I really was not impressed.
No, In Flames
what
kind
was
of
that?
fell off towards the. In Flames kind of fell off towards the end there, but this one on the 2010 release has a cover of Land of Confusion, which is badass.
I see.
Anyway, so but yes, they definitely give me a gesture race through Clayman In Flames feel, especially that one that last song we listened to.
I can definitely hear that. I really like the guitar, the way the guitar is running on that. It's, I don't know, I feel like it's one of those that kind of leads itself seeing an earworm. That's something I feel like that makes for a really memorable song is when you have a nice guitar, just something simple as just a few changes in notes every once in a while. Just a nice repetition. I love that. And I just want to shout out to, I think, one of the earlier songs, because I don't think I heard it, but it's the one that has a very Middle Eastern vibe in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we played that earlier.
It made me happy.
It made you happy. Jesse,
it made me happy.
Well, this is one of those ones, I think, okay, maybe this is the weakest track for me on this album. I wanted to go in and watch the track by track before we did this show, because they have it on YouTube, because I would love to know what the song means. I'm reading the lyrics, and I'm trying to figure out if he's actually a character or if he's talking about himself, because certainly, I don't see him flying around on a lion with eagle wings or anything like that. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But regardless,
or watching people die from above with the Babylonian fields.
Yeah, so it's got to be some kind of a story that he's trying to tell. And even though I read these lyrics, I still can't figure it out. So there's got to be something that he's relating it to. And what I find is, even though this may be one of the tracks that I like the least off of the album, sometimes when I can figure out what that story is about, I'm like, oh shit, okay, that makes a lot more sense, and it gets a few more points with me. But I mean, it's heavy. What can I say? I mean, they haven't let up. We're at song 8 now, and they have not let up off the gas. So, continue on.
All right, another one I think you mentioned that it was really good. This is track number 9. This is Fallen Brother. Jesse, Fallen Brother, go.
Hey, how many songs do you hear that are a tribute to like a lost bandmate or, a friend of the band that really take a somber tone? This keeps it heavy while, telling you that story about the guy that, they were friends with that passed. Or, this could apply to anybody. Most of the well, I say most of the song. About a little portion of the song is in German, so I have no idea what they're saying. But I really dug it. I thought it was a great way to. It's one of the better tribute songs that I've heard, especially from a metal band.
Coop?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think because a lot of times metal music, in terms of the little hole that some people put it in, doesn't always show its emotions that are more, I don't want to say empathetic. Well, perhaps not empathetic. Yeah, I guess more womanly emotions, if I'm only putting it in the vernacular of my people, mustard and biscuits. The kind of feelings, the more kind of negative emotions that you get from a lot of metal music is just more kind of your anger and rage. I'm going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
But here, it's really nice to hear a song that kind of wallows in some of your sadness. A lot of thrash metal doesn't really do that. I mean, I think the one I can think of is, My Darkest Hour is a good one. Forget who that's about. I'll look that up. Might have been Cliff.
And at the end of this, we were talking about the religious connotation of Satan is real and all that stuff. At the very end of this song, the last two lyrics are, "Until the dawn of resurrection, let's sing a hymn for the fallen ones." Clearly, these guys have some type of religious belief. So it's interesting to see that contrasting to, what we were talking about earlier with Satan is real.
Alrighty. Let's move on to track 10 here as we start winding down. This is the last of two tracks. This is Side by Side. All right, guys. I am fading fast here, so over to you, Coopers. Side by Side. What do you think?
As we crush homophobia side by side.
Oh, wait a second.
I'm not kidding. That's in the.
Is that really in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Multiple times.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, these guys are definitely, the guy Millie, I believe is his name, right? They are very left, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just that is they lyrically put that out there.
I mean, hey, I'm all for it. I'm sure there's not enough conservative representation of music, but that's why it's the liberal arts. Ha ha!
Hey!
Hey! Yeah,
I know.
It's a living.
Just ask, I'll play it again.
Like we get, I'm trying to think, we get Ted Nugent, Dave Mustaine, and Phil Labonte from fucking All That Remains, which somebody shit on him for his politics. He's like, you know what, y'all just don't like me because you don't like All That Remains. I'm like, no, I just think you're kind of a dick, but, that and All That Remains has sucked since, Overcome wasn't even that great an album. Like their first three albums were really good, and then Overcome had like 4 good songs, and that was it. That was like, some buddies of mine invited me to a show of theirs in Charlotte, and I was like, I'll think about it. Then I looked at the set list, and it was like they played like 6, Become the Catalyst and something else, and that was it. I'm like, I'm good. Like, it's like all new songs and then 3 songs from those first 3, like their third album. And I was like, no thanks. Because they've had some bad albums, just mediocre metalcore, which I did get some metalcore vibes from this song, just a little bit, just a tinge.
A tinge.
I mean, just a tinge.
A little pinch.
It's one of those things. Just a smidgen. But I was one of those. Is not. I don't like. I know when I say metalcore, usually I'm like metalcore. No, I don't like that. But I mean, it's not always a bad thing necessarily. There are some good things that can come from the metalcore bands. So, I mean, it's nice to see their influence in this.
There's plenty of good that comes from metalcore.
I was going to say, this is a very positive song again. More support coming from this band and from the lyrics. It's good to see that.
All right, this next one's kind of a long one here. This is our last track of the night. Then we're going to close up shop for the evening a little earlier than normal, but that's all right. Sometimes you just got to say what you got to say and close it out. So here is Death Becomes My Life, final track.
Separating from my soul, that's all I can see.
places I need to cut that off. So it was a strong finish, really. And let's go ahead and give my final words on this album. I really thought it was a great presentation, great themes, song construction, just a superior album, and finally one that did not disappoint. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a solid A.
Give it the old Canadian rating.
Go ahead, Coop.
Solid A. Look at me. I got jokes.
I got it.
Or in tribute to Seth Rollins. R.I.P. Seth Rollins' knee. His knee went kaput.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for flailing around like a dumbass instead of just letting Samoa Joe jump on top of you and choke you out.
Nah, I was too busy.
People don't.
I was too busy talking to Jesse about minimalism, so I didn't watch.
Yeah, well, it was minimalism. I really need to subject Jesse to more manga because I'm reading a really weird one. That's a really good, sad coming of age story that is abstract as fuck. But
all right.
For this album, so for this album though, this final song's a really nice cap onto it. This album, fuck it. I'll give it 4.5. I might even give it 5 if I listen to it a second time. But right now, 4.5 out of 5. That's about 9 out of 10. Really, really like this album. This is very well done. It is well worth it. At least a listen. We gotta listen to it at least once. Really, I'm gonna go try and buy it because just like Phantom Antichrist, really holds up. It really holds up the more you think about it, the more you listen to it. This is not just a hollow metal album for dumb douche bros or whatever. There's a lot that can be said, even though sometimes, the Satan stuff is a little bit much. It's a very well done album. Just a great start to our year. I can't wait to see where this year goes.
Yeah, we finally got a really good one this year, and I'm hoping we continue to have some more fun albums that don't disappoint. Obviously, a little less Sepultura, Machine Messiah, a little more Kreator, Gods of Violence. Jesse, your thoughts, sir?
Oh my goodness! I was in the middle of talking to Coop about anime when I realized that nobody could hear manga. Well, nobody could hear a damn word I was saying.
Nope.
Anyway.
I figured that's what it was because I was like, I really expect Jesse to say something back. Well, shit.
I'm just gonna ignore your ass. No, it's a fucking blog talk. Anyway, I wonder if the blog talk lady ever forgave me for ripping her a new one when I didn't realize she was listening last week.
I don't know. I've been calling on my cell phone the last couple of shows, and there were no problems with me on audio tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say you sounded good.
No problems with me and Pat. Pat sounded a little clicky last night, but I mean, he was still he didn't cut out, which I'll take the clicking over the audio just flat out cutting out.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know why I get disconnected. Well, okay, let me just go ahead and chime in here real quick about that last song, "Death Becomes My Light." Might possibly be. It's either going to be my favorite song off of this album or my second to favorite song off this album, because the subject of that song, this guy dies, he goes to heaven or wherever he's going to, and he is just so happy that he is finally able to release all the burdens that life has put on him, and now he can live happily, free of worry. And then at the end of the song, Death looks at him and says, well, you know what? Your time hasn't come yet. And he sends him back to Earth. And again, it starts out just like the beginning of the song. Why has this happened to me? And he has to deal with the fact that he just got away from all this shit the world puts on him, and now he's got to come back to it and live in it. A great song. I think it's put together very well. Slowest one, starts out slow. It gets pretty fucking heavy in the middle, but again, probably one of my favorite songs off the album for sure. As for the album as a whole, Absolute thumbs up for me. That's an easy answer. I am really sorry. Well, actually, no, I'm not sorry. I can't wait to get into the back catalog of Kreator because after we posted this show, a friend of mine was already like, oh, yeah, you need to check this one out. You guys have suggested some. So I'm going to probably go back and check out a few previous albums, and I'm glad that I've got something new to listen to. And I would say so far, we're only in February, but so far this is probably one of the best albums we've reviewed so far this year.
Yep. All right, and that brings us to a close for tonight here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. Again, a little earlier than normal, but that's all right. This past
He's not on drugs.
I'm not on drugs. Yeah. As I said earlier, the last part of the So What's Your Reading special on source material was this past Monday. We had a TV party tonight on Tuesday where Pat Mullen and I reviewed Fuller House Season 2. Tomorrow, because Gavin made me, we're going to review The Master. Next week, now are you all set with Gavin? Do you actually have your shit ready to go, or do you still have to record that?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, not me.
Next week is for the 6th is going to be Stormwatch #1, and actually the plan is to bring on Dean Compton of the Unspoken Decade. So
okay. I thought that was Gavin you were bringing on.
Dean Compton.
So my mistake. Okay, good. And then you'll be back on Tuesday night talking to me. TV party tonight, Black Mirror Season 2. And then a week from tonight, we are going to review a band called If He Dies. The album name is Beneath the Waves. And my friend from high school is in the band. He plays drums. That's Frank Morofsky. So we're going to do that as sort of just a favorite of my friend there.
Don't let him know he has to follow Kreator.
And then On Trial we'll be back with Audible Audio. As we'll be putting Resident Evil on trial. I'll actually be defending it. I prosecuted the first two. I prosecuted Big Trouble in Little China, which apparently is getting some pretty rave reviews. People are enjoying that episode. I prosecuted Inception, so we're flippity flopping, and I'll be defending Resident Evil, and Sean will be prosecuting it. The week after that, we've got. I don't know what you're going to be doing on the 13th. I guess maybe more Stormwind. I don't know. I'll be taking
Stormwind.
Stormwind.
Whatever
sorry.
The
fuck. whatever bullshit magazine you're reading. I'm not putting on a show on Tuesday. Somebody else will step up and do it. That's fine. But it's Valentine's Day, and I just felt like, well, I don't really want to put on a show on a night where I might have to actually, spend time with my wife. So no show Tuesday, but we'll be reviewing the new Overkill on February 15th, The Grinding Wheel. And then because Sean made me, we'll be reviewing The Hunter from the Future. I'm sure that's going to be terrible, and laughs will be had. And finally, rounding out the month of February, we will... on source material, we will be reviewing Batman 66 Volume 1 on the 20th. I'll be having a brand new person appear on a podcast for a TV party for Chef's Table Season 1. Right here on the Metal Hammer of Doom on the 22nd, we'll be reviewing the new Marilyn Manson, Say 10. And we'll get to hear more about Jesse's uncomfortableness with devil worship.
Heaps of it.
And
Ooh,
on and to celebrate,
y'all reviewed Dark Funeral last year. Dark Funeral really loves Satan.
And to celebrate Black History Month, as we do every year on the Radulich Broadcasting Network, I'm dedicating this show to all the Black people who have strived and who have felt empowered and have, worked for their rights, to celebrate Black culture, Black people, and all their accomplishments. We're going to put Catwoman on trial.
Ooh, God, I almost want to sit in on that one. I wrote a fucking paper on Catwoman a few months ago.
Oh, did you?
That needs to be shared, man. You saved that, right? That needs to be shared.
Oh, dude, of course I have it. It's the paper is on what negative or what black woman stereotypes does the main character of Constance Phillips in Catwoman, what does she represent, as well as how progressive towards the African American agenda is the film. Spoiler, it's not. Like, I watched that movie and then wrote a fucking 7-page paper on it. Good God!
Why did you pick that? Did you pick that, or was that assigned to you?
Well, I had to pick a movie with a black female as the main protagonist, and it had to come out after the year 2000.
Okay.
Dude, I had so many good choices, but I was like, I had so many good choices, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick the shitty one because I was like,
challenged.
Somebody needs to pick Catwoman. So it was me, and good God, that movie. You know, that movie is like getting off work and expecting to find a hot date, only to get mugged by a bunch of really horny bikers.
I've yet to see it, but I can tell you real quick. We ranked all, I think, 52 movies, superhero movies of the modern era. Okay, so from like Blade forward, and we had 6 people. 6 people weighed in and ranked all 52, including myself, and I can tell you that Catwoman and Elektra made, I think, was 51 and 52 somehow. So
like, Catwoman is so bad. It's 53.
Well, challenge
you see the CG cat, the CGI cat.
Oh wow! I hear there's a basketball game in there or something.
Oh, dude, they're playing basketball, and they're practically trying to fuck each other on the court with a bunch of children watching.
I can't wait to hear it, Mark. You have your work cut out, sir.
Challenge accepted. We here at the law firm of Radulich, and Jew will gladly take on this case and defend Catwoman for the ages. Defend Catwoman because black folks. Okay, that's And I already have one thing working against me. I can only bring up the fact that she had nice tits once in the entire episode. I'm not allowed to keep using that as an excuse. Just lastly, on February 28th, the TV party will be Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, which I think has Pat on it, or somebody. I'm not really sure. I know I put this on here, and I didn't. And I'll have to go back and look at
guests are a mystery.
The guests are a mystery, yeah. We'll be reviewing Steel Panther, Lower the Bar, that weekend. Because Robert made me, we're going to review the movie Ink. And then on Friday, you'll be able to hear our special announcement and discussion regarding Wolverine Week. So that's all of our podcasts for the next month. I hope you'll tune in and enjoy it. Real quick, Jesse, is there anything else you want to plug, or Robert, you want to plug?
I'll go ahead and plug real quick. Go give the Radulich Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. We throw links out there. You click on them, and you can listen to the podcast directly. Check us out on iTunes. Check us out on Stitcher. Check us out on TuneIn Radio. That's right. We're out there. You can listen to us through your TV. It's crazy. That's all I got.
Sorry. You need to calm the fuck down, first of all. Jesus, what was that?
It's called plug mode.
What was that voice? My goodness. All right, Cooper, do your thing real quick. Plug the podcast you're not doing.
Oh, good. So, Sentai Rider Podcast, your home for tokusatsu. You can find it on Facebook, facebook.com/Sentai Rider Podcast. That is SENTAIRIDER podcast. We're at like 750 likes. I haven't posted anything on it, and Facebook told me like 114 days.
Damn.
Like I want to do stuff, but like my buddy who I do it with, like I haven't talked to him in a month, and he's like in the middle of a quarter-life existential crisis.
Wow.
Well, it's like shave your head, get a tattoo, your dog died, and now you're gay. Like, right?
Damn.
Like, I shit you not. Like it's all. And he lost his job because he has a horrible work ethic, and is now a delivery boy for Domino's. And it's he's awful at it. Anywho, so there's that. So maybe we'll have a podcast, maybe one day. Then there's WTMnet.com, my buddy Sean Garmer's website, where you can find lots of articles, game reviews, and podcasts, including his Wrestling to the Max podcast, 4 hours of your favorite wrestling, every week. They cover everything. I'm going to have a review, hopefully by next week, The Flame and the Flood. I've been playing it. I'm not very good at it. In fact, I'm awful at it. But, yeah, I plan on making that my first of many different reviews. I plan on doing a lot of album reviews, and I can hear out of my left ear. Still can't. Probably need to go to the doctor. Just saying. Other than that, Mark should totally play the Hammer of Doom outro sometime because I made it just for the show. Just saying. I don't know if you ever listen to the end, but I'm talking like the entire time. You're like, yeah, I remember that time I made an outro for the show. It was nice.
I did hear that.
Oh, did you really?
I did hear. Well, I heard you talking. I was like, what the fuck's he doing, man? He's just talking straight through the outro. I was like, all right, whatever. Coop's at Walmart again, getting something to eat.
All right.
I am hungry.
I got the fucking hint.
Get it queued up, Mark.
God,
real quick.
Yeah, like that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm giving you hints like I do most women. I'm just like grabbing like something and hitting them in the face, being like, "Hi."
Are you grabbing me by the pussy? Is that what's happening here?
Well, I mean, with the way your life's going right now, probably.
Speaking of which, and that's actually the last thing I'm going to say. I'm not going to get into any of the details now, but if you follow me on Facebook, you know I'm having some health issues. If you've heard any of my last couple of podcasts, you may have heard me hacking up a lung. I don't have any details to share at this point. When I do, I'm probably going to do another diary entry, and I'll just lay it all out there for people to listen to, so I don't tell the story over and over again. Dear Diary, I'm dying. But yeah,
well, last one was Happy Pneumonia New Year. Shit's supposed to get better, okay?
Nope.
Happy New Year. He spelled it PHN.
So we're gonna end the podcast there. Like I said, I'm going for some more tests next week, and when I know exactly what's going on with the old body here, with my lungs, I will share it with the people who are interested. And if you're not interested, then don't listen to it. It's fine. I'm not going to waste a lot of time talking about it on this show. But I am planning on doing another diary entry and posting it once I have some clear idea of what's happening with my health. So with that said, I want to thank Jesse Sarcher for hanging out with me tonight and reviewing Kreator, Gods of Violence. I want to thank Robert Cooper for coming in and out on the show. I'm glad he could be there for as much as he could. Tell your manager to show up to work on time. And with that said,
tell him we got podcasts to run, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. I really show 10:30 for you. We're gonna have to start recording at like 11 at this point. All right. So with that said, before I completely run out of gas here, be well, be safe, and behave.
From cozy breakfast nooks to formal dining areas, Ashley has versatile dining options starting at just $499.99. And for a limited time only, you can receive a $250 mattress credit with the purchase of any 6-piece bedroom set. Plus, get 60 months special financing on select in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Shop and save today, only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. No minimum purchase required. See ashley.com for details.
You're at a bar looking for a new beer when you smell a citrusy aroma. It smells like sunshine and oranges. You see the bartender pouring a beer that looks refreshing. Only one problem. You have no clue how to pronounce the name. Jaialai? Is that even English? The bartender is now heading your way. As you're about to order an ice cold Jaialai, you hear, "Can I get a Highlight?" Highlight, the best beer you probably can't pronounce.